So how do we fix this communication issue between Angela and David? We need a plan. First, they need to recognise that they are different. They need to talk to each other about what each other needs to feel comfortable. David needs to be able to express to Angela that I will feel better about this project up on the Gold Coast if I know some kind of timeline, if you can, put together some kind of research behind this so I feel safe that this is a good idea. And Angela needs to express what she needs to feel comfortable so that they both know what each other are doing but still have the freedom and the scope to be able to move, within their comfort zone. But it starts with a conversation. It starts with a conversation about how we differ, how we complement each other, what I need and what I can give you and vice versa. Because really, from this case study, you would think they're terrible partners. They should never have partnered up. In actual fact, they're perfect because they're almost completely complementary.
Because having Angela probably go to the Gold Coast at this time is the worst thing, because she's the one who is more likely to confront the current problem and sort out the arrangement with the suppliers, whereas David seems to have stuck his head in the sand.
Yes.
And he's not dealing with it, he's just hoping it goes
The same way in reverse, if they could shelve EventMate for the time being, then his skills would, obviously be beneficial to EventMate, so or to the startup.
Yeah.
That's right.
But if they don't sit down and have that conversation, the likely thing to occur is that David does stick his head in the sand and hope, his little projects come to fruition, and won't even worry about Angela. Angela will go off and do her own thing and potentially end up with two different businesses because they're just not meeting.
And a split marriage.
Are they actually married?
Yeah.
Yeah, yes. So there's a lot to lose. But it can be as simple as just sitting down and saying, okay, this is how I think, this is how I need to communicate, and this is how we can go forward. And it's nice to have that boundary as well, even for Angela, who, and from my own perspective, because I do have, that yellow, I can get really carried away. So fortunately, my boss is really quite green. green, blue, and she will say, no, yes, you can play up to this point. Here's the fence. And I'm really appreciative of that because it saves me time. I need that discipline as a yellow-greener. So for her to say, yep, that's fine. I recognise that you like exploring and you like trying new ideas, and that's fine, as long as it's within this scope. Or you can do it this many times, or you can do it on this day, or whatever it might be. So again, what we've done is we've recognised each other's differences and we've come up with a plan to work with it. And that's what you need to do.
There's some really interesting tools for family businesses where it's not just, two, it's often, brothers and cousins and that type of thing, where they have things like family boards and family constitutions, where it at least gets everybody around the table and it gets them agreeing on common values for the family and that type of thing. And there's probably something to be learned out of that for smaller businesses in terms of what do we want to achieve and what are we all bringing to the table.
Yeah, unfortunately, it is quite a simple thing. It's quite a simple thing, but we forget about it. We forget to actually talk about, we're so excited, especially in a new business, we're so excited about the business that we're talking about, the business, where we want to go, we're talking about the products, we're talking about the finances, the legal side, and we forget to talk about how we're going to work together and who I am as a person and what it is I need. So to quickly wrap up, if Angela and David do develop a communication plan, incorporating all those 4 thinking preferences, and communicate using their whole brain, how will it help them in their current predicament?
Well, it'll help them to have or to create a bigger picture way of thinking, because they have a lot of smaller problems that seem to be slowly creating a larger one. So they might think ahead, and then it'll also help them to perhaps focus on the matter at hand rather than being a little all over the place. So,
Yeah. And by coming up with some kind of communication plan, what will drop out of it is a plan of some sort.
Yeah.
Even though it's designed as a communication plan, at the moment Angela doesn't really have much of a plan, but a communication plan will force her to have that. So yeah, it will have that spin-off effect
It
as
will
well.
probably also solve some of the problems with their existing clients who at the moment aren't being communicated with and are getting nervous. So, you know, they have communication needs as well.
Exactly. And we're not sure what they are, but again, if we cover all of them, then we're increasing the chance of being able to, you know, establish that rapport with all of our clients and hitting the spot, hitting what it is that they need. If they extend this strategy to their internal and external stakeholders, including their staff, their customers, how will it help them in the future?
Play their business or just be better.
Of course it will be better. Yeah.
Clearer focus.
It can't get worse.
Communicate better.
Yeah.
You know, it might make it a more positive.
Happy staff means that you're not
Happy staff.
spending so
Yes.
much and losing so much
Yes.
during the day.
So we're going to
And
increase
work.
motivation.
Yeah.
We're going to increase morale. We're probably going to increase our clientele because we're hitting more of a target.
It will also help them to troubleshoot any problems in the future because they're communicating regularly with their clients, their staff. If there is an issue, they're likely to know about it before it becomes
So
a
they
big
can be
problem.
proactive as opposed to
Yeah.
reactive.
Exactly. Now, thank you so much for indulging with me in a tool that I obviously really love. I think it's completely relevant not only to business but in any kind of relationship. We've really only just scratched the surface with HBDI. There's a lot more to it. So obviously I'm more than happy to talk about it more with you guys later. But I hope that it's kind of wet your taste buds for a tool that really is very effective and can be very useful for you in both personally and professionally. Okay. Thank you.